Hi, everybody. Welcome to Chats with Nadia. I am Nadia, and today I have the pleasure to be joined by Miss Cherian Wilson. She is a women's empowerment coach, and she has so much experience in this area that I just can't wait to hear all about her story and all about how she has gotten into coaching. So let's get started, shall we? Cherian, how you doing?
Hi, Nadia. How are you doing? I'm doing very well. Thank you so much for having me.
No, thank you for being here. It's such an honor and a pleasure to meet you and get to know you. So
Thank
good.
you. Likewise.
Oh, thank you, Cherian. All right, so you are a women's empowerment coach. Can you tell us a little bit about what entails? Can you elaborate a little bit on what is it that you do?
Absolutely. And I love that people ask me this question because empowerment is so large, right? It's a very ambiguous word, and you can go any direction with empowerment. I mainly focus on the core of empowerment, which is the power of your choices. Every person has a choice, and I believe if you make the right choices, you will get to your place of empowerment. So I work with women who somehow still lack the right choices in life. And it comes down to the core of being emotionally healthy. If you're emotionally healthy, you can make right choices, right? And emotionally healthy means that you also have to be physically healthy, of course. But as for women, because I work with women, we are emotional beings. And I don't say it in a negative way. I don't say it to condescend women. I say it because that's our beautiful nature, and I'm proud of it, and I love it. I love that I feel. I love that I can express myself in different ways, that I can cry, that I can scream, that I can laugh. I have mood swings. I'm all proud of all of that. And I know that once we are in balance with our emotions and with the choices that we make, we will become empowered women. So that's the core of what I do. And everybody's on their own journey, their own pace, and their own time, either personally or professionally. So I don't distinguish any clients. I just tell them, if you want to work with me specifically on being self-empowered, doesn't matter what it is, I'm your girl.
Well, that is amazing. It's so good because, like you say, empowerment is such an ambiguous word, but it's so great that you're focusing on women to have mental health, emotional health, because we all need balance, right? And it's so important for all areas of our lives. Like, we cannot just go about thinking and pretending that everything is fine when deep inside us we know it's not. So it all starts there. It all really starts there. So do you deal with self-esteem issues? Do you deal with like self-acceptance issues, with self-doubt? How do you go about it?
Well, all the above. And like I said, everything evolves around the core of you, like you said earlier as well, being in balance. And when you are stuck in life, and that's, I think a lot of women are stuck, and I was one of them myself. So the place of me starting this business comes from me. When we are stuck in life, everything else around it is not going. It's not in the right place. It's not making us happy. It's not fulfilling us. It's causing us stress. So I go down to the core with all my clients. What is it that is not keeping you in balance? Why are you emotionally not healthy? And usually we dig deeper into past traumas. Usually we dig deeper into things that you have been through, but unaware, unconsciously, you have adapted a certain way of thinking, a certain lifestyle. And I really dig deep to find the source of that issue so we can, walk
Forward.
forward to the future to focus on how can we get you in balance? How can we get you in the right place to be emotionally healthy, to get you back to your place of power? Because women are born to be powerful. Please do not misunderstand this. We are born to be powerful. I personally am a woman of faith, and I believe you're created by God. And I respect what everybody believes. But my way of thinking is that God created the woman after God created the man. So we were created to empower the man, not the other way around. Okay? So we are born to be empowered. And because we're born to be empowered, we need to find our core and focus on that to have that in the right place so we can do amazing, powerful things.
Yes, in the end, it's all about finding your freedom, right? And you can only find that freedom when you are in balance. And when you understand your power, and when you understand that you truly are this magnificent being capable of creating your own life and your own reality. When you are
Absolutely. There are too many women, and I was one of them once more again. I have to really emphasize that. I'm not talking to any women or working with any women because I know better or because I studied I did 5 degrees or because I went to some kind of fancy school. I'm doing this out of life experience, out of the passion of my heart, because this is what I love to do. It's my purpose, it's my passion, and I do it with all my heart. And because I know what it's like, I've been there. I've been emotionally abused, I've been mentally abused, I've been sexually harassed. I mean, I walked all the walks, girl. And because I know what it's like to be stuck, I know what it's like to be walking in circles and not finding that place of emotional healing, so that I can start focusing on who am I? Why am I here? What am I good at? What is my legacy that I want to leave behind? Those are all the core main things that we need to be successful in anything in our life, whether it's our career, whether it's our marriage, whether it's being a mom, doesn't matter. It's all about focusing on the core of being self-empowered.
I love that. I love that, Cherian. And that it's amazing that you were in this place before, and to see you now, like you come across as such a confident woman, you know, beautiful inside and outside, just projecting everything that is within you. So this is amazing. Would you like to share with us? Oh, my pleasure. Would you like to share with us a little bit about your story?
Absolutely.
Who was Cherian before she became this amazing and successful woman that she comes across like what I just described?
Well, I think you would not like to meet me when I was younger and I was going through my issues. I was not as confident as I was now, and I was not as energetic, and it's not as warm and open and kind that I am now. I was a very unhappy and bitter girl. And it started all when I was younger. I was a teenager. I was, first of all, abused by my own father. He emotionally abused me very severely and made me believe that I was the most horrible person in the world. He made me believe that I was the ugliest girl in the world. And because of that, you know, unconsciously, I took that trauma with me, and I entered into one toxic relationship to the other with the men in my life, because I never healed myself. I never restored myself. I never found myself. I never rediscovered myself. And slowly but surely, I was just piling up all my problems of not having the confidence, not really loving myself, or not love myself at all. I didn't know who I was. I didn't know what I wanted in life. I had no purpose. I had no way to go. I had no path to walk. I was not aware of what was going on. I was just living. I was just existing. I was just breathing. And the only way that I was holding on was to project being a person on the outside, to keep the person that I was on the inside, or was really hurt, to keep that protected. So I was very unfriendly. I was very bitchy to people. And
Building
it was
walls.
just protecting myself. Yes, all the walls, you know, not being who I am. And it's also very mentally very exhausting, because you have to, you know, really play a role and act to be someone you're not, until I got to the point where I said, I can't take it no more. That was actually last year. In a year time, I have grown significantly. And of course, there has been progress along the way, slowly but surely, because no one changes in one day in a short time. And I have walked my journey. I have had therapy. I've had great coaching. And last year, when I was about to get married, wedding was set, dress was there, ring was there, invitations was sent, I said, I can't do it. I am not happy. I can't marry you. I don't know who I am. I don't know what I'm doing. I need to find myself. And I went on a journey, and I found myself. I rediscovered myself. And I was so empowered by finding out that, oh my gosh, I'm actually this wonderful person. I just need to heal myself, find my balance in my life, and continue. And I founded my passion and my purpose. It was born out of my place of finding that pain, healing it, and now focusing on, okay, now that I know who I am, now that I know what my passion is, what my gifts and my talents are, what my potential is, now I can just do what I love to do most, which is empowering other people, especially women who've been where I was. I love to speak to people a lot. Like, I'm constantly motivating people. Don't give up, keep going, you know, like, you're almost there.
Yes.
So it's been a long journey, and I'm only 32, but it has been a lot. And I know for sure that I know, like I said, I'm a woman of faith. God allowed me to go through these things. When I was younger, I've never understand, like, why would my own father hate me this way? Why did he would treat me this way? Why did I always end up being in these abusive relationships, or men would just use me and just, you know, throw me away like I was a piece of trash? And now I understood I had to go through these things to get to my place of pain, so I could turn that pain, I could understand the pain, why it was there, and turn it around and use it as my strength, because my story is my strength. My story is powerful, and I can change other women with my story.
Oh my gosh, I love that, Cherian. That is beautiful. Thank you so much for opening up to this beautiful story of yours. That's amazing. You know, how you came from this place and you took that and just turned it 180 degrees, you know, and it took
Yeah.
you about a year. That's actually, I would say that's fast, you know, because it takes people a lifetime and sometimes they don't understand. And it's bless them because sometimes people are in places where they're not even conscious of where they are. They're not conscious that they're in pain. They're not conscious that they're going through a horrible situation, and that it doesn't have to be like that, you know. But it takes for people to be more conscious and aware of who they really are and what they can actually create in their own lives, you know. But it's
Yeah.
amazing that you had that moment of consciousness, you know, like you became conscious of where you were and you realized that you didn't want to be that person, and you didn't want to, you know, keep being somebody that you were not, you know, putting up walls everywhere, like, because in the end we're trying to protect ourselves, right? In
Yes.
the end,
Absolutely.
it doesn't matter how I guess how confident you can be. Sometimes when your brain sends, say, like a threat to yourself,
Yeah.
like you start building walls. So
Yes.
not fun at all. And then you start pushing people away and attracting the wrong people, the wrong kind of people, right? And that's what you're saying with all these people that you attracted to your life that were trying to teach you a lesson. But it's really interesting how it evolves. Everything just evolves from the story with your dad, with your father, you know, how everything just fell into place. um do you still talk to your dad?
I do. I have walked my journey of learning to forgive him. And
Amazing.
it was very, very long journey. And I appreciate your compliment of saying, a year is very fast. But I must humbly correct you that my journey has been in stages. So, when I was very young, which is about 14, 15, I got to my place of abuse. And then I grew to 18 where I started therapy. And when I started therapy, that was a long journey of about at least 5 years. And during therapy, I was still making mistakes. I was still falling back and I was still having a lot of negative thoughts. But I have changed from, when I was a teenager, I would have suicidal thoughts. And I changed that to, okay, I do have negative thoughts, but I'm not going to go that deep. So it is, you're climbing up steps every time.
Mhm.
And there is a certain point where I reached my top. And my top was last year, what I said, I have enough. I can't do this no more. I can't take this no more. I cannot continue living like this. And I think my personal secret is that, again, because I believe in God and because I know that He created me with a purpose, I'm not here just because I exist and I die. I decided to take the time and go on a sabbatical. I really just went hardcore fasting and I shut myself off from the world. No more phones, no more social media. I really needed the time to be alone, to think about what I am doing, where am I, who am I, what do I want, what do I need, and who do I need to get where I need to be. And of course, don't get me wrong, I had great support system as well. I had a great coach. I had family members, especially my mom, my cousin, who's mostly my best friend, and people around me to really love me through it and support me, because I think also that's a problem with a lot of women when they're going through certain stages in their lives. They don't have anyone to talk to. They don't have anyone to
Yes.
support them. And that's really hard for them to make certain choices. That's why I am so happy that I can be that person to someone, because I know what it's like not to have anyone around you. So yeah, it has been a progress. It has been in stages. It has been with growth. You never stop growing. It's never a place where you reach that you're perfect. I'm still learning. I'm still growing. But the part where I am now at is I am continue to learn how to continue loving myself, because I love myself, but now you continue in this relationship with yourself. Because just like
Absolutely.
any relationship, you need to work to stay together. So I'm working on me to continue loving me. And
It's
it's
amazing.
amazing, it's beautiful. And every time I learn something new.
And no, it really is amazing. And life in the end is a learning journey, right? We are always learning and always growing if we allow ourselves to do so. And it's really interesting that you mentioned it, right? Because they say the lesson will be repeated until learned. And how many times have you come across, like, it's happened to you? Because you just mentioned it, it's happened to me. Like, I know that I encounter, for example, I'm dating someone and then I don't like him for X, Y, and Z. And I say, okay, I'm going to go out with this other person. And I start going out with that other guy. And it's like the same person with a different face, because, it's the same mistake, the same lesson that the universe, God, and everything is trying to teach you, and the lesson will be repeated until learned. And once you learn it, you can overcome it and you grow, you personally grow. And life is really an amazing journey of growth and learning. And just
Yes.
experiencing. Yes.
Yes, it is. But there are two things that are very important. You need to be open and willing to learn. Second of all, you need to be willing to take a deep, honest look at yourself into the mirror.
Mhm.
And it's very confrontational. It's very ugly. You won't like it. You won't like what you see. You won't like to know that there are things inside of you and things about you that you have to change. And
Absolutely.
then you have to be powerful enough and courageous enough to say, okay, I'm going to work on this, because it's not one snap of a finger and it's
Mm-mm.
done.
No,
It
we all
requires
wish, huh? We
work.
all wish it was like that, but
We
it
wish
really is
we had a
not.
magic wand, beep, just the magic. But you need to work hard. You need to dedicate every day for an amount of time, and it can take months, it can take years,
Mhm.
to really invest in working on yourself. And which is why, again, I love coaching, because coaching really makes the process much easier. Having a coach is having the person to encourage you, to motivate you. I have different clients that I work with in their own different ways, and I love to see the progress. And it goes faster when you have a great coach, because when you're figured out on your own, it takes, double or even more amount of time.
Absolutely.
But you need to be willing to work on yourself. You need to be willing to say, okay, there are things about myself that I don't want. I need to work on them. And they're growing pains. I call them growing pains, because it's not like, from today to tomorrow, it's done and it goes easy and smooth, chicken feet. Those are growing pains, but they're necessary, because just like gold is being produced, it needs to be put under heat and under pressure to polish it, and to really go through all that process. It's the same with us. In order for us to shine beautifully, we have to go through that process of pain.
Yes, absolutely. And we keep learning. We carry on learning, right? Every day it's a different lesson. And like you said, as long as you are open, you'll be able to receive that lesson, learn from it, and grow from it. But
Yes.
Cherian, you also mentioned something that is very important. I think the support system of someone. A person cannot just go by themselves through this journey of life. Like we all need a support system, whether it's your family or if you don't have a family, definitely friends, definitely a coach, but it's so, so, so important. So you're mentioning that you had your mom, your cousin, and some friends as well as part of your support system, right? So what made
Yes.
you go into coaching? When did you decide that it was the right moment for you to start seeing somebody to help you besides your cousin and your friends? When was that point? What made you do it?
So with me, the story is a bit different, and I'll tell you why. I think a lot of people, just like me, we're being coached, but we're not aware of it.
Mm-hmm.
The first person in my life who coached me is my mom,
Yeah.
and I just wasn't aware of it. There are specific moments in my life that I remember, and I'll give you one of them. When I was younger, I would take swimming classes, and I was a bit scared to do part of the higher level of your swimming lessons. You have to do a deep dive, and I was a bit scared to take a high jump, do the deep dive.
Yeah.
And she would be there. She's like, "You can do it. You go for it, girl. You got this. Go for it. I'm right here. Just go. You got this." So she would always be standing nearby, and she wasn't telling me what to do. She wasn't forcing me to do anything. She was just asking me questions sometimes. Like I remember I'd come home when I was a teenager. I was like, "I want a tattoo and I want a piercing." So instead of her going wild, like, "Are you crazy? I'm going to kill you," she said, "Okay. So why do you want that? Okay. So have you done your research? What will happen if you get an infection? Or what do you think in 5 years? Would you still like it?" So she would always ask these really great
Yeah.
questions
Yeah.
to sort of help me think about stuff. And the same when I was going through all the stuff with my dad, because obviously my parents did end up divorcing because of other reasons as well. And she would always ask me questions like, okay, if you don't forgive your dad, if you don't heal, how would your life look like? Or for instance, she would say, would you be at peace if your dad will die tomorrow and you have never forgiven him? So she would ask me these questions, really allow me to think about stuff. And that makes a great coach. So
Absolutely.
my coaching has been forever in my life. And when I was an adult and later on, I decided, okay, I want one. I didn't actually pay for one because my best friend turned out to be my coach. So,
No, angels of
my
God.
best friend would push me and ask me questions and really, take the time to walk with me in my journey of pain, the patience, and, really respectful with love and appreciation to love me through the process. Because that's important as well. Even though coaching is something professional, I do believe you have to do it with love. I do believe there's a certain amount of love you can have for your clients. It's not inappropriately. It's in a right context, in a professional context, but you do have to do it with love, because love makes a huge difference
Yes, it
to
does.
and everything.
Yes, it really does. When you do it with love, it means that you're caring. You genuinely and truly care for their progress and for them to become
Yes.
the better version of themselves and for them to just, I don't know, break out of this cocoon, you know, like the butterfly, to flap their wings and just fly and do whatever they want, because they understand the power, and you understand the power that they have. You believe the best of them because you know what they're capable of. So I think that is very, very important. You know, the fact that you not only do it, I mean, not only do it for because you love doing coaching, but also because you genuinely care for your clients. Yes, and it's definitely something I do as well. You know, you gotta care for your clients, otherwise, like, it's not only about them getting progression, but where the person they're becoming, where they started and where they're going to end, but with love and with care and with respect and with acceptance, right? Because we all have clients that sometimes are like, they commit to something, and unfortunately sometimes life comes up, or they just, sometimes they're going through a stage of fear, and it's okay to have fear. You know, sometimes they say, okay, I'm going to do X, Y, and Z, and the next session comes, and when you ask them, okay, so how did it go with what we agreed that you were going to do, and they're like, oh, I just didn't do it, I didn't find the moment, I didn't find the place. And there's always all these different I guess circumstances that happen, right? And you just got to take it with acceptance and with love, understanding where they are and where they're coming from, because a lot of them are not in the confidence part just yet. They're still dealing with their own demons and with their own self-esteem, with their own self-acceptance and self-doubt. So it's so important that you're mentioning love. I think it's a very, very important part of coaching, to do it with love and genuinely care and respect for your clients. So yes.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And like I said, we as women are made to be empowered, to be powerful. And part of that is the way we love. We love hard. I mean, if you just see the way women take care of their kids when they're moms, what they do to the extent and, going beyond limits for their children, we love hard. When we love a man, which is number one problem why we just stay so long in abusive relationships or unhealthy or toxic relationships, because we love hard, really commit, we're loyal. So we have this natural, beautiful ability powerfully to love. And once we understand that and we use it in the right context with the right people, your life will be totally different.
I completely agree. And it all starts with the love for yourself. And to love yourself, you
Absolutely.
need acceptance for yourself. But then again, I think
Yes.
it's so great that we have coaches like yourself that focus on bringing, the events from the past that probably were not the happiest ones, to really hone in on that and just really question, so what happened there and how that is affecting your current life. Why can you not be this amazing person that you're meant to be? Because everybody has a purpose, and we're all in the end pieces of a gigantic puzzle, right? We're all here, we're all unique, and we're all here for a purpose and a reason. But sometimes we don't understand it until a coach asks us.
Yes.
Right.
And sometimes I even encounter women who, they have it all. They have a husband, they have kids, they have a great job, they have a house, but they're still not happy. And then I start talking to them and asking them questions. And then, they just don't know it themselves. So you have to dig really deeper. And you encounter that there's always something that has happened somewhere along the way in their life that doesn't allow them to grow further. It's like a boundary that is keeping them from growing and from learning and from developing. And there's always a part that you think you love yourself, you think that you're happy, you think this is all what you want, until someone pushes you to think further. And that is where you change your mindset. And that's also part of empowerment, having the right mindset to look at things, to analyze things, to reflect on things, and really ask the question, is this really what I want? Is this really what I need? Because they're two different things. And is this me not just being comfortable with life and not pushing myself further to get out of my comfort zone, to explore the unknown, which has a lot to offer, because we don't know what's beyond the comfort zone. However, there's a lot. that's there for us. There's a lot of potential in us that is still sleeping. But we got so comfortable with life and, everything's okay. We get the paycheck, we have our mortgage, have our kids.
Yeah,
Okay, it's fine. One holiday once a year. But what if? Have you asked yourself, what if you would go out of the comfort zone? What would change? How
absolutely.
your life would change? How you would think differently? How you would feel differently? So I also believe there are different kind of women that I work with. There are women who just want to start a company and they're super devoted and they're super disciplined and passionate and ambitious. But because they themselves are not in balance emotionally, they can't keep growing. They can't go further. So they're stuck. They say, well, I'm doing everything and I'm learning everything and I'm trying to attract clients. It's not working.
Yeah.
And I ask them, okay, what does your life look like? How does your day look like? What do you do every day? How much time do you spend with yourself? How much time do you care for yourself? Do you work on your self-love? Do you work on your exercise? Do you meditate? Do you pray? What do you do? And a lot of times we get to the bottom of, oh yeah, you're right. I need to work on myself, my balance, and my emotional self. My mental health also is very important. So it all comes down back again to that core,
Yes.
having that emotional health, having the right mindset, and being aware if you're empowered enough or not.
Yes, I love that. I love that, Cherian. Thank you so much. You touched on something like sometimes I feel like society puts us in this, I call it the safe way of being, the safe
Mhm.
way of behaving. They put you in this box, which in the end is safe and nothing wrong with it. But they have you go through school. Once you go through school, then you find a job, then you meet someone, then you get married, then you have your house and your car and your children. And that's like the dream life. But honestly, where is your passion? Like, what do you genuinely want to do? Maybe you didn't want to be a housewife. Maybe you didn't want to be a mom. Maybe you did, but maybe you didn't. But maybe you wanted to be an actress or a model or something that has nothing to do with the lifestyle that you're living, all because the society put you in such a, well, the safe way to show you that this is the way to go. This is how life is just easy and how it works. You just get into this comfort zone that you were talking about, and you get your paycheck every 15 days or every month, depending where you live, and you just get comfortable and you forget about everything you wanted to do when you were 5. And it's so amazing when you can ask people the right questions for them to understand if the life they're living is the life they wanted to live, like, ever you know
Yeah,
Sometimes all these
absolutely.
influences that we get from society and whatnot are what pushes us to make decisions that sometimes we don't want to make, but we think we want to, right? Because it's like a brainwashing, I call it.
Yeah, and it's also not just society, it's also cultural. I work with
Absolutely.
women internationally. I'm open for all cultures,
Yes.
all nationalities.
Yes.
I'm super diverse. I love colors. So I work with every woman around the world. And
Yes.
there's some countries where women, culturally speaking, have certain expectations. They are expected to be married by 18. If you're 25, you're too old to get married.
Right.
Where they're coming from. It's a cultural thing.
Yes.
And then you have countries where you have, for instance, religion takes a really big role in
Mhm.
that, right? Having to say, okay, so now that you are officially part of a church, or you now, you were born in a Muslim community, there are certain religious expectations as well. So in every
Absolutely.
country, in every culture, every society, every religion, there are expectations of women, and that needs to change. And it starts with us. When we decide we have the power to choose, no one else can choose for me.
Mhm.
I have the power to choose. And if that power is taken away from you, you claim it back. You find that
Yes.
power, right? And you own the power that you have in your choices, in your freedom, in your mindset, in finding your passion and your purpose and living it.
Yes, I love that. How powerful is that? I love this. But I was also going to touch on the subject of inner dialogue, because the way you claim your power, I think, is the conversation you have with yourself. Because we can be our best friends, but before we realize that we have that ability to claim our power, become our best friends, our own best friends, sometimes we're our worst enemies. We're always being so self-judgmental. We're always criticizing ourselves. And of course, when we're born as children, like as babies, we are love, right? We'll just emanate love. But it's all about love, right? A baby usually gets taken care of by their mom, and this is amazing, and they develop and grow and whatnot. And then somewhere in the teenage years, like you start hearing all these different voices of how you should behave, how you should act, who you should be, what you're supposed to like, and what is right and what is wrong. I'm the same as you. I love everything and everyone. I'm open. I love cultures. I love countries. I love languages. Like diversity is like my flag, you know. I love diversity. Like we are all human in the end, you know. But definitely, I think the healthier our inner dialogue is, the more we can create and co-create in a better world. I know it sounds very cliche, but I really do believe that. Like if you learn to love yourself and people are also learning how to love themselves, the world would just be a better place, you know. And it comes from being your best friend, claiming back your power and really being your best friend and cheering yourself up when nobody's there for you. I mean, of course, we spoke about the support system and how important that is, but also the fact that you can accept a compliment when somebody gives it to you, the fact that you feel worthy, the fact that you feel valuable, you know, it's so, so important. Oh, Cherian, this is
Absolutely.
such a beautiful conversation, really. And
Oh,
well,
I can go on for hours, girl. Believe me. There's so much that we haven't discussed yet. For instance, this month is the month of domestic violence awareness. I'm doing a lot with that. I'm really talking and having a conversation because we need to start talking about this. We need to break the silence, and we need to address cultural issues that women face in a lot of countries when it comes to domestic violence. Physical violence, like I said, emotional abuse is also domestic violence. And how we can as women empower one another, which I love earlier what you said, you know, helping each other, supporting each other, having finding ourselves, finding our self-love so that we can help create a better world. That's also part of being empowered. You make sure that other women are empowered. That's what I did. I said, hey, I have found this amazing thing. I got to share this with the whole world.
yes.
So now I'm making sure that I pass on that energy and I pass on all that power that I have to other women so they can continue passing on for the future generations. Mm-hmm. But it starts with us. It starts with educating ourselves. It starts with finding the power of our choices and making those choices powerfully, because a choice is so powerful. It can be the smallest thing, but it's so powerful.
Yes, I completely agree. It's like the ripple effect, right? They say that if a butterfly flaps their wings in England, it'll create a hurricane in the Caribbean area of the world. Because that is the effect of one decision, right? One simple decision. Absolutely. It's affecting everything around you. So this is amazing.
Absolutely. And that's why I'm so open about my story and what I've been through, because I think we need to talk about it more, because there are a lot of women suffering in silence. There are a lot of women who are ashamed to speak out. I was ashamed to speak out too, I'll be honest. But now that I did, I'm like, gosh, I feel so good. It's off my chest. I put it out there and it makes me feel powerful because I'm using my story to help other people. And that's so powerful.
Yes, and it makes you feel free. You feel liberated. You feel like you can now do whatever you want. You can just go on with your life and create whatever you wish to create. And on that note, you know what? I am so glad that you went through this journey of forgiveness as well towards your dad. Because in the end, I really believe that people are really doing the best they can. So in the end, what he did, I don't think he did it out of hate. I think he always loved you, but he just didn't know any better. And that also teaches us that we can empower, by empowering ourselves as women, we can also empower men that are going through suffering, because in the end, you can only give what you have inside, right? You cannot give love if you don't have love inside if you don't love yourself. So I'm thinking right now, the moment that your dad became a harsh person towards you is probably because he didn't have love in himself. You know, he didn't have this acceptance and love for himself. So I think it's very powerful, the fact that we can also empower men to love themselves, to become more loving and more caring, more accepting of themselves, in order for them to be able to accept and love everyone around them. You know, not only other men, women, children, everything, because it all comes from love. In the end, love is the only thing there is.
Absolutely. And in every religion, it evolves around love, right? No matter if you're Muslim or a Christian, or you believe in trees, or you believe in whatever it is you believe, even the universe and the stars, whatever, it comes down to love, because we're all human beings seeking love.
Yes.
And you indeed really mentioned a very important point. You know, I later on discovered that he was a victim himself of emotional abuse. So he just taking on what he was taught and, you know, being that victim However, I also believe, again, the power of choice. He did have a choice to choose differently, and he didn't.
Yes.
And that's something we need to become aware of, no matter what happened to you in the past. Because I could have said, okay, I'm going to be this bitter woman. I'm going to have kids, and I'm going to abuse them as well. I could have made that choice. I could have done that just like he did. However, I decided, no, I'm going to break this. I'm going to choose powerfully, because every choice that you take has consequences, whether good or bad.
We're just talking about it. Yes.
Absolutely. And I decided, no, I'm going to make a powerful choice that will benefit me, that will make me a better person, that will give me a better future. And now I'm benefiting and enjoying the consequences of this, because I'm living my purpose, I'm helping other people, I've been healed, and I found my place of forgiveness because I understood the fact that, like I mentioned, when you understand a person, the story behind, because everybody has a story, everybody has walls, and behind those walls there's a lot of skeletons and ugliness, and we need to understand that, and we need to love that person through those walls so that they can understand, okay, there is a different way, I can change, I can make different choices. So that's actually the bottom line of it.
That is amazing. Cherian, well, we have a few minutes left. I just want to say thank you so much for coming this morning/afternoon, because I know you're in the Netherlands. I'm in Mexico, so we're in different parts of the world, but thanks to technology, we happen to be here. And thank you so much for coming to share your amazing knowledge and wisdom and your story with us. And I would just like to leave people who are watching this with wise words from you. What if this was, let's say that, let's go fast forward 100 years, or I don't know, and let's say that this is your last day. What is 3 things that you would like to live society with from your wise heart and your wise mind and your wise life experience?
Oh, wow. That's a great question. I love that. Thank you for asking. I would say 3 things, right? I would say the first one, love yourself first above everything and anything and anyone. Number 1. Number 2, I would say find your purpose. Understand who you are, understand what you have to offer, what gifts you have, what you're good at. Some people are really good at baking bread. So be it, be the best baker of the world. Doesn't matter what it is, so long you find your purpose that's related to your passion, what you love to do, and you're good at it. And you're the only one that can do it that good. The third one is work on your legacy. Just like you asked me, what do you want to leave behind in this world? What do you want to be known for? It will be a shame if you die a nobody. It will be a shame if you die not having fulfilled your purpose. I learned from someone very wise who said, the richest place on earth is a cemetery, because in the cemetery, we have hidden and buried treasures that have never been explored and never been used in the world. So don't die with your treasure. Use it, share it with the world, and make the world a richer place.
Oh my gosh, I love that. Amazing, Cherian. Thank you so much for your time. Thank you for this beautiful interview. And I'll definitely look forward to us talking again.
Absolutely. I would love to be invited to you, by you again, so that we can have a chat about some of the cultural issues that women have in Mexico, because I've been in Mexico and I've seen some things that I know that needs to be addressed too. One of the things that very dear to my heart is that women in Mexico really face a lot of rape and a lot of violence against from men. And they're really struggling to find equality and to find the respect that they deserve in society. So I would love to have that conversation anytime.
Of course. Thank you so much. Well, thank you, Cherian. And we'll see you next time.
You're so welcome. Take care, everyone. Bless you. Bye-bye.